Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I will be reviewing the brand new horror decision-based game called The Quarry. The creators of this game, Supermassive, are well known for this genre of games, most recently being their global success with Until Dawn, which was released in August 2015. They are also known for their collection of games called the Dark Pictures Anthology, which includes 3 titles: Little Hope, House of Ashes, and Men of Medan. Now, knowing all of this about the company, The Quarry was instantly met with large expectations to be their next big thing since Until Dawn. So, let's dive straight into it and see if the hype was deserved or not. Now, quick disclaimer / warning, there will be small spoilers throughout the video, so if you haven't already played the game, I highly recommend for you to finish it and then come back to this video. So without further ado, let's just dive straight into it. Firstly, let's quickly touch on the gameplay of the game. Being a story-based game, players for most of the time are just watching without having too much controller input. But in the handful of times we do get control over the characters, the movement is extremely smooth. Moving around and looking for clues is a seamless experience, and to much delight, was really easy to get the hang of. Other than the physical moving on characters, we obviously get the decisions and the infamous and grueling QuickTime events, which I definitely didn't fail at all. Anyway, back on topic. When faced with decisions, players would be given either a long time period to choose what choices, whereas in some events, players will only have a limited time to quickly make the decision, adding to their adrenaline rush. Now, my favorite topic, the quick times. All of the quick times in this game involve the thumbstick, with a few cases of having to button smash the A or X button, which definitely took my controller to the brink of destruction. But overall, the gameplay of this game is beautiful, and I couldn't find any faults. It feels amazing to just pick up and have a blast with friends regardless of your skill. Now, onto the visuals of this game, and wow, so many times while playing, I genuinely see details that I have never seen before. The animation and CGI work is incredible. I have a fairly low budget PC, so I had to run the game on low settings and got around 60 to 70 frames, and it still took my breath away. In certain scenes, the violence was met with a genuine surprise from me and my friends. The death scenes are intense and super gory. Mortal Kombat is a walk in the park compared to some of the scenes in this game. Honestly, it's insane. Now, the only downside I could find was that on the day of release when I bought it, there were a lot of times the frames would just out of nowhere drop and the cutscenes would start to stutter. But that could honestly just be my really bad computer, so I'll leave that be. But other than that, it was a really good and fun experience, especially if you can do it with a group of friends, so I highly recommend it. Okay, so now all of the fine stuff is out of the way, it's time for the main component of the game, which is obviously the story. Without spoiling too much, we meet a group of young adult counselors at a summer camp called Hackett's Quarry. The main characters are Chris Hackett, who is the leader and the person who runs the camp, Emma, who is a flirty and mischievous character that can sometimes find herself in emotional trouble, and Emma, damn. Anyway, let's back on topic. Avi, who is a more reserved and humble character, Nick, Jacob, Dylan, Ryan, Max, Laura, and Caitlin. After being introduced to them, their car is broken down and they are forced to stay an extra night at the camp. So as the night begins, it starts off innocent and fun with some fireworks, a campfire, even a cheeky game of truth or dare, which honestly gets pretty spicy. But this slowly all turns into a nightmare. The counselors have to make tough and hard choices in order to stay alive. And in this game, one wrong move can lead to instant consequences or set things into motion for the future. Overall, I really loved the story, and so did my friends. It was super easy to get lost and always wonder what will happen next. The total runtime for the game is about 10 to 12 hours depending on how you play it. Throughout the game, there are hidden Toro cards, I still have no clue how to pronounce it. I tried my best, but sadly I couldn't find them all. These cards add an awesome layer to the game which I wasn't expecting, with the cards holding clues / visions that can in some circumstances prevent the death of a character. Now, why I recommend it. Now that all the review stuff is over, here's why I genuinely recommend this game to you guys. I'm not usually into horror stuff. If anything, most people that know me always laugh at me for being really jumpy and scared when it comes to this stuff. But with The Quarry, obviously I was scared, but the way that you bond with the characters, you learn to appreciate them, and you genuinely want them all to survive. Usually horror games get their players scared with really cheap jump scares, but there were so many times I was petrified in this game without anything happening other than a change in the note of the music or just a crow swooping past my screen. The twists in the story were also really fun to experience. A lot of the time, the game keeps you oblivious and wondering what is going to happen next. Now, sadly, every game must come with its flaws. A reoccurring con is the issue with audio and crashing. Some cutscenes you hear the voices before the lips of the characters even move. To me, it wasn't too bad to get used to, but when spending $100 on a AAA game, you would expect these things to be brushed out before launch. Now, another really common critic was that the game was far too similar to Until Dawn, being dubbed Until Dawn's little brother by fans. Although I haven't played Until Dawn, this was a really fresh story for me, but for a lot of people that have played the titles, did say that there are huge similarities between the two of them. Now, lastly, for some reason, the Quarry uses a third-party launcher which honestly came with a lot of backlash from fans, but once again, this is quite a small issue to just not care about. Okay, so enough bad talking the game. If I had to give the game a score out of 10, I would honestly give it a solid 8. 11 hours went by so quickly, it brought me and my friends together and offered an enjoyable time, and I loved it. So I highly recommend this game. This is Romojit, signing off.